Dark, but honest advice for good people. Sometimes it feels like the world punishes the people who care the most. Like the ones who show up, listen deeply, and give without limits are the same ones who end up empty. You try to stay soft in a world built on sharp edges, but every time you keep your heart open, it feels like someone finds a new way to bruise it. If you've ever wondered why being good feels heavy, why kindness feels like a burden, why you carry things others never even notice, then this message is for you, because the world needs good people, but good people who are not afraid to face uncomfortable truths. These are the truths most won't tell you, but you need to hear. Not everyone values your kindness. There's a quiet assumption many good-hearted people carry, that because they approach life with honesty, loyalty, and consideration, others will naturally respond the same way. But life doesn't reflect our intentions back in equal measure, and kindness, as powerful as it is, doesn't guarantee fairness. Some people only understand what they can take. Good people give out of instinct. They feel someone's stress and offer help without being asked. They see someone struggling and step forward before anyone else even notices. But here's the first harsh truth. Some people will come close only to drain what you freely give. They don't see your generosity as a gift, they see it as a resource. A resource without terms, without boundaries, without conditions. And when something feels limitless, people stop valuing it. They don't stay because they appreciate your kindness, they stay because your kindness makes their life easier. They don't call because they care, they call because you always answer. They don't apologize not because they don't know they hurt you, but because they know you'll forgive them before they finish explaining. That's why being good can feel tiring, not because goodness itself burns you out, but because you pour it into hands that don't know how to carry it. You teach people how to treat you even when you don't intend to. Here's the part no one explains. Every act of kindness without boundaries silently teaches others how far they can go. When you give without pausing, people learn that you don't need rest. When you say yes while exhausted, people learn your time is endless. When you forgive without discussion, people learn you can be hurt without consequence. They don't always mean to take advantage, but habit shapes treatment more than intention does. So what do you do? Not by changing who you are, but by changing where you place your kindness. Your kindness is a treasure, not a discount item. Kindness isn't something that should be thrown into the world without direction. It's not about being closed or selfish, it's about recognizing the value of your heart. Think of your kindness as currency. When you invest it wisely, it grows. When you scatter it everywhere, it disappears. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone deserves to know your softness. Not everyone has earned the right to see your heart unguarded. This doesn't mean becoming cold. It means becoming selective. Because when you finally choose where your kindness goes, when you give to those who respect your boundaries and appreciate your effort, your kindness becomes powerful again. What protecting your energy really means. Good people often misinterpret boundaries as selfishness. But boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. A wall says, no one gets in. A boundary says, only those who respect me stay. Protecting your energy means saying no without guilt, stepping back when you feel drained, walking away when someone refuses to listen, giving yourself the same compassion you give others. It's not about rejecting the world, it's about not sacrificing yourself for people who wouldn't bleed a drop for you. You don't lose people when you set boundaries, you lose those who benefited from you not having any. One of the most painful lessons for good-hearted people is this. When you stop overgiving, people disappear. But pay attention to who disappears, because those were the ones who valued your compliance, not your presence. The ones who stay, the ones who step up, respect your time, listen to your feelings, those are your people. You are not obligated to shrink so others can feel comfortable. You are not here to be small, quiet, or endlessly available. Kindness isn't measured by how much you abandon yourself. It's measured by how much you can give without breaking. You don't need to be perfect to be good. You don't need to be liked to be kind. You don't need to be available to be valuable. Goodness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. Your kindness becomes powerful only when you choose who receives it. Pause, breathe, let that sit in your chest, because accepting this truth is the first step toward protecting your heart without losing it. Your silence will be misunderstood. Good people often carry a quiet hope that others will simply get it, that their feelings will be understood without needing explanation, that their patience will be appreciated without needing reminders, that their silence will be recognized as strength, not taken as permission. But here is a hard reality. Silence speaks, but it doesn't always say what you mean. Silence meant to protect you can be read as weakness. You stay quiet because you don't want to argue, you don't want to hurt anyone, you hope things will resolve themselves, you believe understanding should be mutual, but some people hear your silence and assume. You have no limits, you don't mind being disrespected, you'll tolerate whatever they do, you'll stay no matter how they treat you, and step by step, without noticing, the distance between what you feel and what others think becomes enormous. What you tolerate, you teach. If someone crosses a line and you stay silent, that silence becomes an instruction. Not because you deserve disrespect, but because you didn't identify it as disrespect. Good people often carry pain quietly, thinking, if it mattered to them, they would notice. But most people are not mind readers, and some choose not to notice unless you make them. Staying quiet to keep the peace often destroys your inner peace. There's a cost to silence that no one sees. Sleepless nights replaying conversations, holding tears in public, and breaking in private, pretending everything is fine, while your chest tightens overthinking every word, because you never said the one that mattered. You keep the peace externally, but internally, you wage war with yourself. The world thinks you're calm, composed, unbothered, but your silence has weight, and it sits directly on your heart. There is power in speaking, not shouting. Speaking, you don't have to be loud to be heard. You just have to be clear, clear about what hurts, clear about what you won't accept, clear about what you need, clear about what you deserve. Speaking up isn't aggression, it's self-respect. People may blame your change, but the truth is you finally chose yourself when you finally speak after years of silence. Some people will accuse you of changing. But here's the truth. You didn't change, you just stopped letting others change you. People who benefited from your silence will complain when you find your voice. People who expected your compliance will resist your clarity. But your voice doesn't exist to make others comfortable, it exists to make you whole. Saying no is not cruelty. Good-hearted people struggle with the word no. They fear disappointing others, seeming selfish, breaking the connection, but look closely. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you say no to yourself. And what if just once you reversed that? What if no was the first step toward rest, healing, self-respect, balance, protection? No doesn't mean you don't care. No means you care about your well-being too. Your voice is not meant to be hidden. You are not here to swallow words until your throat goes numb. You are not here to carry feelings that should be expressed. You are not here to be quiet so others can be loud. You are here to exist fully, and existing fully requires speaking truth gently, firmly, and without apology. Silence protects peace, but only when you choose it. When silence is forced by fear, it becomes a cage. Your voice is not a weapon, it's a shield. Use it. Being good doesn't mean being soft. There's a myth about goodness that to be good is to be soft, fragile, endlessly forgiving, endlessly available. But here's the third truth you must carry. Your goodness becomes stronger when paired with inner strength. Soft doesn't mean weak, and strong doesn't mean hard. The strongest people are often the most gentle. The bravest people are often the most compassionate. The most resilient people are often the quietest in the room. Strength isn't loud. Strength is controlled. Strength is choosing who you are even when the world pushes you to change. Good-hearted people are underestimated. People assume you won't walk away, you'll always understand, you won't fight back, you'll always forgive, but they forget. You notice everything, you feel deeply, you remember who hurt you, you can leave silently, and when you finally decide you're done, you don't announce it. You simply stop showing up, and that silence is louder than shouting ever could be. Strength isn't about becoming cold, it's about becoming selective. Becoming harder won't heal you, but becoming wiser will. Strength is knowing when to walk away, knowing when to stay, knowing when to speak, knowing when silence is protection, knowing who deserves your heart and who only wants your time. You don't need armor around your heart. You just need a gate. Never let the world convince you that kindness needs fixing. Some people will tell you, you're too sensitive, you care too much, you give too easily. But sensitivity is awareness. Caring is empathy. Giving is generosity. These are not weaknesses unless you give them to people who don't deserve them. Stay soft but not naive. Stay giving but not drained. Stay loyal but not to those who harm you. You can be gentle and still walk away. Strength is not staying longer than you should. Strength is recognizing when staying costs you your peace. A strong heart is not closed, it's guarded with wisdom. You don't need to hurt people to protect yourself, you just need to choose yourself when others won't. Your purpose is not to survive, but to grow. You weren't born to just tolerate life. You weren't born to shrink so others can stand tall. You weren't born to dim your light so others don't feel insecure. Your purpose is to live fully without losing your goodness. Growth doesn't require sacrificing your heart, it requires strengthening it. When you combine goodness with strength, you become unstoppable because people respect your boundaries, they value your time, they cherish your presence, they listen when you speak, they don't mistake your kindness for weakness. Goodness alone gets overlooked. Strength alone gets feared, but goodness with strength gets respected. Your goodness is not a weakness unless you let the world convince you to hide it. Stay soft enough to care, strong enough to walk away, and wise enough to know the difference. Don't change who you are, just change where you place your heart. The world needs good people, not perfect, not silent, not broken, but good people who are strong enough to stay good. Your kindness is your power. Your boundaries are your shield. Your voice is your strength. And anyone who truly sees you will never ask you to be anything less.